Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to a special edition of Brews and Reviews. And today, in honor of Mother's Day, we're counting down the top hip-hop mama songs, because you know in hip-hop, the mama song is a genre in and of itself, and you know rappers love their mamas more than any other musicians, so we got to get into this. And today I am sipping on a Salt Point Moscow Mule, because you know moms don't really like beer, so I'm doing something a little bit different today with the show and with the drinks. So let's get right into this countdown. Now, first off, there were a lot of songs to choose from. So this is my list. It's the songs that I like the most, so that's why I put them on there. A couple rules is I couldn't pick the same song from the same artist. You know, there's a lot of artists that have multiple songs about their mamas, so I only did one per artist, left the rest off, and I did a couple other things like Drake, for example. I know he has a mama song, but he doesn't write all of his own shit, so he will never be on one of my shows. That's why I'm not reviewing his new album. So, I'm not including the Drake song, and I'm also not including Miss Jackson, even though I love Outkast. It's about somebody else's mom, so we're not going to count this on this particular countdown. So let's get right into the list, starting with number 10. Number 10 is J.Cole's Apparently. Now, the whole song is not about his mom, that's why it's number 10, but the best verse is about his mom. And this was the first J. Cole song that I really heard that I realized that he could hold down a whole track just based off of his singing, because his singing on this song was even stronger than his raps. And I think that he really did his mom justice by putting some emotion into his crooning throughout that first verse on the song. And he held it down just with his singing skills alone. The best line on this song, "I'm so sorry that I left you there to deal with that alone," where he's talking about his mom's home getting foreclosed. And this line is really powerful because this song comes at the end of the album, and the album is named after that home that his mom lost at this point, I guess. So it's a very powerful, strong way to say that he loves his mom and that he's apologizing about something that he regretted in his past for something that meant so much to him, which was this childhood home that he grew up in that the album is about. The next track, number 9, from the supergroup EMC, You Let Me Grow. This is a 4-man crew, and I like this approach because they have different perspectives throughout the entire track, different perspectives of their moms and different things to call out. We might even hear another track from a 4-man crew later on in this countdown, but this is the first one on the list at number 9, and they actually sampled another mama song on this. They sampled Willie Hutch's Mother's Theme. So that's an interesting tidbit that makes this kind of a double mama song. And the cool thing about different perspectives is because while Mama's got praise from Master Ace, Wordsworth, and Strickland, Punch comes in at the very end talking about his tough childhood and how his mama created a very tough childhood for him. And it's kind of interesting because it becomes a catharsis for Punch. And he just ends the whole verse with the last 2 lines. He says, "Mother and friend forgive you for all of your mistakes. I'm forgetting the past, so let's start with a clean slate." And I think that's really powerful given how he's talking about the difficulty that he experienced. And you can hear the emotion in his voice and the feelings that he had about his mama, the negative feelings at that point. But that last line lets her know that he forgives her. And that's really cool. Coming in at number 8 is Eminem's Cleaning Out My Closet. This is another different kind of perspective on the mama song. It's definitely not all praise that he's giving here. And there could have been a number of Eminem lines that I brought into this because he has multiple lines about various family members, including his mom, as we all know. There's one very interesting one on his major label debut, My Name Is. But this one in particular I picked because it is a whole song about his mama. And it's very angst-filled, very angry, very emotional. And I thought it was funny back in the day. The song was it was played everywhere on rock radio stations. It was all over video stations. And everybody knew this song. But all they knew was the chorus, so they misinterpreted the song. They thought that chorus was real. and that he wasn't just being sarcastic. I don't know how they missed the rest of the verses, especially the third verse where he's just going off on his mom. That really made you realize that he wasn't really sorry about what he was saying. And I think this song came out after a diss track that his mom had made about him. So it made it all the more emotional for him. So the best line on this song, he says, "And Haley's getting so big now, you should see her. She's beautiful, but you'll never see her. She won't even be at your funeral." That's harsh. The next track at number 7, I had to cheat a little bit. I threw what you may consider an R&B track in here, but it's a little bit of an R&B bonus. It's Anthony Hamilton's Mama Knew Love. Now, listen to that track and tell me it's not hip-hop. Even though he's singing on it, this is a very strong, emotional song with a stellar beat in the background. Anthony Hamilton goes off. This is one of the best songs from a great album, and it should be something that you should check out if you only listen to rap normally. I love this song, and it's very heartfelt in everything that he's talking about with his mom. And if you still don't consider this a hip-hop song, or that it shouldn't be in this list, then I could have substituted Anthony Hamilton's remix of Dear Mama, or the Tupac remix, I should say, featuring Anthony Hamilton, which came out after Tupac's death. He was on that. I could have included that, but we might hear Dear Mama a little bit later in this countdown, so I'm going with Mama Knew Love here. Best line from this song, "Mama knew love like the back roads." Number 6 is Nas's Dance. Now this song, it was very, very emotional when it came out. It was off of the album that was actually an homage to his mom that he decided to title after his mom right after she died. And the title of the album was God's Son. So he was saying that his mom was God and he was God's son. So that's what it was about. And it was all culminating in this song, Dance. You can hear the emotion in Nas's voice. I don't know if I've heard him get this emotional about any personal relationship. And that includes the album where he was talking about his marriage failing. You could really hear in this song, Dance, how little time had passed between the time that his mom died and when he wrote this album. You can hear the rawness in his voice and everything that he's saying about it. And you can hear some of the stages of grief in this song. You definitely hear denial. You definitely hear bargaining that's represented in my favorite line from the song, where he says, "I'd give up my life. I'd give my life up just to see you one more day." Very strong, coming from one of the best lyricists ever, and his tribute to his mom. Number 5, it's the old Kanye. Kanye West's Hey Mama off of his second album. This was a great song, and coming right after Nas's on my countdown, it's a bit of a difference because this song was very happy and upbeat from the lyrics to the beat itself, whereas Nas's was downtrodden, sullen. The beat was very sad and listening to it. But Kanye, he's happy about his mom, and he wants to praise her and bring that out to everybody, which actually made it all the more tragic when news broke that his mom had died, because that was after this song's release. And I think a lot of listeners, including myself, remembered this song and the relationship that he had with his mom, and it was just kind of a sad thing knowing how he felt about her based off this song after she died. And also knowing that some of the money that came off of this album that this song was on went to her to get that plastic surgery that ended up killing her. So I don't know. I've thought about Kanye and how he actually dealt with that. I guess we kind of know how he dealt with it these days. He went off the rails, but maybe he was headed that way anyway. Who knows? But this was a great song from the old Kanye, classic Kanye. And the best line here is, Maya Angelou, Nikki Giovanni, turn one page and there's my mommy. He compares her to the words of some great poets. And that's just an awesome thing to do. Number 4, you got to indulge me a little bit on my underground pick. And if you haven't heard this, you got to go listen to it. I'm talking about Chico and the Man's My Lady. This is producer No of Cunning Linguists and hip-hop rapper, producer extraordinaire, Tone Deaf. Definitely listen to this if you've never heard it. This is very abstract lyrics combined with an atmospheric beat. It's just beautiful the way that it all comes together, and the lyrics are they're so out there, and maybe you don't really even know what he's talking about, but you know that he is talking about a mom, at least maybe not his mom, but he is talking about a mom, and it's really a beautiful story the way that everything connects. He's talking about a mom that died young, when her child was young, and about the relationship that they never had, and how losing his mom is connecting to the man that he is and to the other women that he's going to meet in his life. It's very, very great lyrics, and I think about these lyrics all the time, because they are so beautiful. The best line on this song: carried the term but never saw the man your son is, and sometimes I can't confront it. For another tone deaf song, of course, I can't include one from another artist, but another mama song by Tone Deaf is called Five Sisters. Despite the title, that is a mama song, so check that one out as well. Number 3, Goody Mob's Guess Who. This was the original mama song with 4 different perspectives from a classic album, classic song from a classic album, classic group. Great flows on this. You've got Cujo, who just kills it. I love the way that he emphasizes certain words on this, and it's just so unique and off the wall, and I loved his voice back then. It was so great the way that he kicks this track off. And then he's followed by CeeLo, who had a revolutionary flow. And if you only know CeeLo from the voice, then go and check this song out. In fact, check out the whole album, Soul Food. CeeLo was revolutionary. He had one of the greatest flows in the game at the time. And I love the juxtaposition that they had on this song, where Cujo's deep voice was played off of CeeLo's very rhythmic, higher, melodic voice. It's very cool. So in the classic CeeLo voice, I can't do it justice, but I'm going to do it anyway. This is the best line off the album. He says, "My mama, the biggest player that I know. I love her so. Hey, everything I got I owe to my mama." So sorry for that impression. I can't do it. Go listen to the real thing. Number 2, Tupac's Dear Mama. That man right there that's in the Source magazine that's on my wall. You knew this song was coming. You probably thought it'd be number 1, but here it is at number 2. There's something else above it, but this was one that definitely had to be included. This was the mama song to start all mama songs, probably the biggest hit on the whole list. And this really, what a lot of people don't understand, that they hear this song now, but this was truly revolutionary at the time, because Tupac was living the gangsta life, the gangsta rap lifestyle rather. And he was actually in jail at the time. He was shooting at cops, and he was hardcore, and he actually had the lifestyle to match it. And there weren't any other gangsta rappers that were really opening up like this and putting heartfelt emotions on wax like Tupac was on this song. And he was in jail at the time that this song was released. So that made it all the more real. He wasn't even in the video. I remember seeing the video on MTV and knowing he was in jail at the time. It was crazy. And this started a trend a bit. Not that it hadn't been done before, but this was definitely the biggest hit. And it was something that said that it was okay for thugs to be emotional and to talk about their mamas and things that were very personal to them. So that was cool that Tupac did this. And definitely created a revolution at the time. So for the best line, you probably thought I'd pick the crack fiend line, but I had to go with the line right after that because it's so true, and it makes me choke up every time when I think about it as compared to my mom, where he says, "I finally understand, for a woman, it ain't easy to raise a man." That gets me every time. All right, coming in at number 1, maybe some of you guessed it. You know already that I'm a Wu-Tang fan, so I had to do this, but this was a song when it came out, was a very different style for Wu-Tang and what they were doing. It hit me out of left field the first time I heard it. And of course, I'm talking about Ghostface Killah and Mary J. Blige's All That I Got Is You. A very emotional song that pulled on the heartstrings more than any other rap song that I've ever heard. It was amazing, and I can still recall where I was the very first time that I heard this song. and it really displayed Ghost's versatility. You didn't expect the guy that kicked off Bring the Ruckus to come with a song like this. It was just amazing what he was doing and how he could really make you feel something with his very emotional voice on this song and the emotional lyrics that he was kicking. And the reason that I remember it is because I had an epiphany the very first time that I listened to it. I started thinking about how I had been treating my mom and how I had been running around doing crazy things and how that was hurting her. And every time I got in trouble, that hurt her. And I had an epiphany listening to this song. And it actually made me change my ways. So that's why it's number one for me. I owe all of that to Ghost and Mary J. Blige. And of course, the way that my mom raised me. It was such an emotional thing that I already had that in me from everything that she taught me. But hearing this song and having it all come together, that I needed to be respecting my mom and living my life a little bit better. So the best line, in my opinion, on this is where Ghost says, he's talking about his own life and how he has kids now, and he's comparing that back to his mom. And now I'm even thinking about that now, how I have kids, and thinking about the way that I was raised. And Ghost makes that come together when he says, I'm going through this difficult stage. I find it hard to believe why my old earth had so many seeds, but she's her own woman, and due to me, I respect that. Great, emotional, beautiful song. If you haven't heard it for some reason, go check out All That I Got Is You from Ghostface Killah. In fact, throw all these songs on a playlist, even cleaning out my closet, and say that that's not necessarily how you feel, but play these from your mom or for your mom or other moms in your life. Because all of these songs are the different perspectives that help make us human with this very human relationship of a child and their mom. So I hope you enjoyed the countdown. Catch me next time. I'll be doing some more album reviews. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.